This is Unit 3, Triangles. Preview video 3.2, Isosceles Triangles. Ready? Take a deep breath. Hold. And birthday candle. Taking a look at this page, preview video 3.2. So this problem, you want to go ahead and do this one on your own. It's a review problem. So pause the video, then restart. Pause the video. Welcome back. Students, you should have a red pen in your hand now, and I'm going to be looking for corrections. So right here, again, you're correcting. 3 things you need to watch out for: vertical angles, triangles add up to 180, and linear pairs. So if that's 55, this is 55. If I ask you to find all possible angles, that would be 125. 125. This is 95. That means this right here is going to be 85. You add 85 and 55. Get 140, take it away from 180, and you're going to get this as 40. This is 180, which would make this here 40. That would make this here right 100, which would make this to be 40. Check the ones you got correct. Make a little note of the ones that you did incorrect. We're going to be talking about a very, very simple concept today. I'd like you to put your hands like this. Now, wedge your hands apart. Right down here's an angle, and then between your fingers, imagine that as a side length. Okay, so imagine this pen here being the side length, and then this angle between my palms. Here's a very simple concept. It's pretty self-explanatory. But if you have a smaller angle, the side length, think of the length of the pen between my fingers, is smaller. A larger angle means that side length is larger. Smaller angle, smaller distance between my fingertips. Larger angle, longer distance between my fingertips. Seems common sense. So in this diagram right here, this would be the smallest angle. So the smallest angle is across from the shortest side. The medium angle, this would be the middle angle, medium. The middle angle is across from the medium side. Middle, medium. And of course, the largest angle is across the longest side. Largest, longest. Largest, longest. So the larger the angle, the longer the side it is opposite of. So right here it says we have a triangle, TUV. And we're given side lengths. So when you have TUV, T to V is the largest side length. So I'm going to go here, T to V. is 6 units. And then your next largest is, your middle is going to be V to U, so slightly shorter. It's 4 units. And then even smaller, T to U, is 3 units. Order the angles from least to greatest. Well, you've only been given side lengths. How can you do angles? It didn't ask you to find the angle measures. It just asked you to do the angles from greatest to least. Greatest, follow that order. So if this is the longest side, my largest angle in this case will be angle U. We're going to go from large to small. Then my next angle would be the medium angle. So medium side, medium angle would be angle T. And then your smallest side, your smallest angle is across from the 3 would be angle V. So although I don't have the angle measures, I know that U has to be the largest, T has to be the middle angle, and V has to be the smallest. You order the side lengths from least to greatest. Pause the video. Do this on your own. Welcome back. Let's see what you did here. From least to greatest, so small to, actually, technically that should be short. If we're going to do lengths here, from short to long. So the shortest side is across the smallest angle. So if that's the smallest angle, your shortest side would be VU, the distance. Your medium angle across from the medium side, TU. And then, of course, your largest angle across from the longest side, VT. We're doing side lengths, so distances, that's why there's no segment above it. So that would be ordering the sides from least to greatest. Excuse me, least to greatest, yes. Now, following this rule, knowing that that's order, we're going to ask ourselves, if you're given 3 lengths randomly, how could you test to see if those lengths make a triangle? And the rule is this: if I have 3 sides of a triangle, I'm just going to write A, B, and C. Here's the rule. Any 2 sides of the triangle have to add up larger than the 3rd side. Oh, let me keep my colors straight here. So any 2 sides of a triangle have to add up larger, all 3 combos, than the 3rd side. And if that's true, then you know that those lengths made a triangle. So if all I did was give you these lengths, 4, 7, and 8, and I didn't draw it for you, and I asked, how could you know if this would make a triangle? This is what you do. I call it eyebrow, eyebrow, smiley. Eyebrow, eyebrow, smiley. Watch. You add 4 and 7, and that has to be bigger than 8. And you ask yourself, is that a true statement? Yes. Check. Next, 7 and 8. Is that bigger than 4? And that's 15 bigger than 4? Yes. Last one, smiley, eyebrow, eyebrow, smiley. 4 plus 8, is that bigger than the 7? Yes, check. Therefore, the side lengths 4, 7, and 8 could make a triangle. I also call this clown face because this looks like a clown to me. Eyebrow, eyebrow, smiley. Let me show you what I mean. Eyebrow, eyebrow, smiley. I have an imagination. That's what I'm imagining. Okay, so here we go. Eyebrow, eyebrow, smiley. We're going to test if 3, 4, and 6 makes a triangle. Watch what we do. Our first eyebrow is 3 plus 4 must be bigger than 6. That 7 is bigger than 6. That's a yes. 4 plus 6 has to be bigger than 3. That's 10. Bigger than 3, the answer is yes. Smiley. 3 plus 6, bigger than 4. Of course, that's 9, bigger than 4, yes. So all 3 are yes, so this is a triangle. Let's try eyebrow, eyebrow, smiley on this one. Clown face, eyebrow. Let's check to see if these are true. 11 plus 14, 25 bigger than 2, that's a yes. 11 plus 2 is 13, bigger than 14. Wait a minute here. That one is a no. 14 plus 2 bigger than 11, of course 16, that would be a yes. But because I get one no here, this is not a triangle. You try this one on your own. Do the clown face, eyebrow, eyebrow, smiley. Check it to see if that would make a triangle. Pause the video. Get out your red pens. Welcome back. Let's check your work. 16 and 10, that's 26. Bigger than 6, that would be a yes. 10 and 16, 10 plus 6 is 16. Whoops, that would be a no because it's not greater than, it's equal to. This, 16 plus 6, of course, 22, bigger than 10, that would be a yes. So this second eyebrow, 10 plus 6 greater than 16, this was a no because 10 plus 6 equals 16. So if once you get one no, it's not a triangle. Now we're going to combine these two things together. I'm going to introduce to you one of our master triangles, meaning a triangle that gives you a lot of information. That's an isosceles triangle. There's some vocabulary word that you need to be familiar with. In an isosceles triangle, the two sides that are equal are called the legs. The vertex is the hinge between the legs. The base is the non-congruent side. Base does not mean bottom, so I specifically rotated this sideways so you would not associate base with bottom. Base is just the non-congruent side, the one side that's not congruent. The base angles are the angles associated on either side of the base. Those are called base angles. These are the important parts in an isosceles triangle. Here's a basic rule of thumb. If a triangle is isosceles, base angles are congruent. We started with the fact that the longer the angle, the bigger the angle, the longer the side, the smaller the angle, the smaller the side. So there's an association between the sides and the angles. So here's a simple premise. If you have two equal sides, make your arms like this, two equal sides, then you automatically have two equal angles, like at your elbows. Do this with your arms. Go like this. Say two equal sides gets you two equal angles. Two equal arms get you two equal angles. The reason why I keep tapping my elbows is if you have an isosceles triangle, two equal sides, the angles at, if you were to hold your arms like that, the angles at your quote unquote elbows would be the congruent angles. So for example, and the hatch marks point to the angles. So if these sides are congruent, kind of imagine that following down like a little arrow into the corner, then these angles are congruent. The opposite is also true. If I start with two congruent angles, then imagine those hatch marks pointing to the sides. Then I have two congruent sides. If my base angles are congruent, then it's isosceles. So if I start with two equal angles, then the sides are equal. If the sides are equal, the angles are equal. If a triangle is isosceles, then there's a segment called a median. A median goes from vertex to a midpoint. That's called midpoint. And that segment right there that I just drew, that's called a median. And in an isosceles triangle, that median does two things in this particular circumstance. A median drawn from the vertex bisects the vertex and is perpendicular to the base. This is only if you have a segment that goes from the vertex to the opposite midpoint, and that's called a median. Let's do a problem together. Taking a look here, our goal, it says find anything and everything possible in this diagram. So the only angle we've been given is the 110. That 2 is just a numbered angle. So watch how we do this. First off, the 110's here. This is 180, of course. 110 away from 180 is going to get me this angle right here. And of course, that angle is going to be 70. Now watch. 2 equal sides, 2 equal angles. So these hatch marks point down into the angles. So that's 70. If you have 2 equal sides, that's 70. 2 equal angles, that 70 carries over here as well. Vertical angles, 70, which means these 2 angles, of course, have to be 110, 110. And we ask ourselves, how could we get this angle right there? Back to the previous lesson, triangles add up to 180. So that gets us this angle right there, 40. Vertical angles, that means this angle right here, also 40. Look at these hatch marks here. These hatch marks point to the equal angle. So this points this way, this points this way, which means that 40 transfers here, 2 equal sides, 2 equal angles. And I want to get this up here. 40 plus 40, take away from 180, that's 80. Take away from 180, that gives me this as 100. You think you're done? But it says find all angles. If this is 180, that means this is 140 and 140. Now you're done. You, my friends, find all possible angles in this diagram. Pause the video, do it on your own, and then restart. Pause the video. Okay, welcome back. Let's see how you did. Step number 1, we have right here 180, which means this angle right here has to be 77. 2 equal sides, 2 equal angles. That means that 77 comes over this way. You add 77, 154, take it away from 180. And this up here, right up here, becomes 26. Hopefully you noticed the right angle there. That adds up to 90. So we can do 90 minus 26. And we get 64 right here. 2 equal sides, 2 equal angles. That comes down here and here, so the 64 can transfer over here as well. How do I get this? Squiggle. 64, 64. 128, take it away from 180. Makes this 52. 64, 180. Look at all those angles. I'd like you to write a note. What are you going to remember? Which ones did you forget? If you didn't forget it's them, go ahead and give yourself a giant star, a giant smiley. Celebrate. Woohoo! Good job. This page you're going to do on your own, friends. Give a summary of the main parts of this lesson.